What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We're your boys over at the Smite Corner, spmadao, and
T-Bar 20. How are you, ladies and gentlemen?
all right. And this time around, we actually got a pretty small, actually, I should say small, short in length game for you, due to the fact that we only played 4 ranked games tonight, and well, this was the only one that really saved. So we're going to be doing this one, and like I said, it's going to be relatively quick. But before we press play and before we really hop into it, we're going to talk about the teams and shout out all the players who are playing this game.
In the blue side of the map. Yeah, on the blue side of the map. I don't know where else I was going to go with that. You got Stabykin playing our solo Ymir, M3 Greek on that jungle, Thanatos, TehMotion as that mid Habwa, and yours truly, spmadao and T-Bar 20 on the dual lane Ares and Rama, respectively.
And then looking at the other side of the Battleground of the Gods, you're going to see that red team in that volcano base with zelliez on that solo Bellona, Nosolin going into the jungle as Hun Batz going straight down into the mid lane. We got Ytlas on Poseidon, and rounding up the team in that dual lane, we got AptemDC and Defire playing Sobek and Xbalanque, respectively. All right, so we're just going to play right now, and just to give it a little bit more depth into the teams here, just seeing who we think has the advantage. Obviously, the early game. The early game belongs to the blue squad. Yes, Bellona's crazy, and she has a great level 1, and she's just pretty good all game round. And once Hun Batz hits level 5, he can do a lot of disruption in the team fights. With RNG procs, can do a lot in the early game. And of course, Kraken is Kraken. But
Thanatos and Thanatos.
Yeah, Thanatos. Xbalanque's not as good as Ram at this stage, in the early stages of the game.
And Ymir's Ymir.
Ymir's Ymir. Ymir. We actually got the 2 best early game Guardians as far as damage is concerned on our team, and Ares and Ymir. So very CC heavy, very high damage, and just a lot of teamfight presence going into the first wave of mid camps at the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, heading into the first couple of items bought, just like last video. By the way, I do apologize that me and Madao are playing the same gods as last video. It just happened to work out that this is the game that saved. So I'm doing the hard secret build again, just like I did last game, for the same reasons. Even this game, it'd probably be a little safer to go. Xbalanque not exactly having the wave clear that Medusa had, but yeah, the damage is going to be really helping me out, especially boxing a Xbalanque who's going to scale very, very well.
Now, some of you may be wondering, why does Rama not get the Dev Gloves like the pros do and whatnot? Here's the thing. Dev Gloves is amazing on Rama, especially if he's up against a god like a Neith or an Anhur or any god that can outpush him in the lane. However, a Xbalanque Sobek lane doesn't have the best of all pushes, and on paper, Rama and Ares should be able to out-clear pretty efficiently. So with that said, is less poke potential that enemy can put out, because they also have to deal with the creeps being shoved down their throats, and as a result, it kind of eases up the lane for you to go hard seeker over the early lifesteal.
Yeah, looking at the right side of the map here, we had 2 wards coming out, one from Thanatos and one from, I believe, it looks like Hun Batz, both putting wards down. Blue side of the map putting their ward aggressively inside the other team's yellow, and they are a little defensively putting it right outside their yellow. Both teams having a decent chance to invade. Probably advantage would go to blue team here, but just playing it very, very safe. Good all-around strategy, especially if there's a threatening level 1 to get wards down. Notify yourself of those invades.
Something to point out here, Poseidon actually gets to lane 1 step behind the Hebba, and as a result, Hebba is able to outclear the first wave. That shouldn't happen on paper, because at the end of the day, this map is not balanced. Some of you may say it is because where all the jungle camps are situated, but if you're actually on the Chaos side, the mid laner has an advantage. It takes about 3 extra steps for the Order side mid laner to be able to get to mid lane, which means they should be able to shove it early, especially when you're Poseidon. So I don't know what happened there. Maybe they screwed up their power camp, but overall, just great luck coming for Hebba.
Especially with Hebba having definitely a rougher laning phase up against the Poseidon. The same thing happening for us. Like we said, we're going to have a little better lane push, but we even showed up a lot sooner than their dual lane, getting almost all the way through the archers by the time they actually get the lane.
And actually, looking over into Solin, because we're doing harp on this as Thanatos is looking for the good okie-doke onto Bellona. Really should have said communicated a little bit better. Obviously, Ice Carpet would have been up, and that could have more than likely been a kill, as she won't get picked up here. But this matchup, Bellona versus Ymir, this is the meanest matchup that Bellona loses. And I'll tell you why. Any god with hard CC really screws up Bellona's life, because she relies on that hammer to clear, and if she can't get the full damage off, it's really going to screw her up. And if she can't manage to hit Ymir with it either, the minions won't group as good as they normally would, so that our AoE autos can proc on all of them at the same time. So it's just because of that freeze, and the amount of damage Ymir pumps out early, she's going to get bursted hard if she missteps.
True. Starting everything the first couple of minutes here. Not much happening. We're obviously very much outpoking this duel, and like we mentioned before, we're definitely gonna be able to out-clear this team. I do take quite a bit of poke. The what's that ability called on Sobek? Whatever his 3 is. His 3. The Sickening Strike was doing... No.
Oh,
I was talking about Sickening Strike. Hit me often, and I missed First Blood. Damn it. But... yeah, Sickening Strike doing a lot of damage to me, actually. I took a lot of poke, but was confident in my ability to outperform Xbalanque in that early game, so able to keep a lot more of the aggression.
I didn't realize he was maxing out Sickening Strike, whereas that's a lot of damage that Sobek does now. But talk about damage, Kraken comes out in the mid lane towards the mid camps, and Poseidon will be credited with that kill onto Thanatos.
There goes the Habwa ult, tons of damage, even onto a tank.
Completely burst the Sobek down, and because we got those mid camps, I'm able to get the ult and lock them down with both of them with the chains. How about managing to more than likely going to be able to pick up Hun Batz there with the in-hands after his water cannon, and in 1 second I will be able to clean up the Poseidon with my in-hands. And if you notice in that fight, what won us that fight was the fact that after Kraken came out and I knew we were down in that fight, I was one mid camp away from getting ult, and I knew I could turn it around. So I completely ignored everybody else, let Habwa fend for himself for a little bit. Got enough damage onto the camp while everyone else was trying to fight, hogged it, and then we both got our ultimates in time to turn that fight around.
By the way, I panned to watch you guys win your fight while ignoring my hot dem snipes over in the left lane, able to pick up Xbalanque, but that is going to give me a huge advantage over him. Obviously, getting the first kill in the duo lane gives a huge advantage to the hunter that gets it. So.
But that's not just the thing that gives you the advantage. What gives you the advantage is look at the items. Obviously, Dove Gloves being a more expensive item over Heartseeker. It's going to take a little bit longer to get on, and with that first blood, he's stuck at the rank 3.
Rank 2, which means he is going to have to back. He is going to have to back at a very awkward timing while I'm just free stacking. And I was able to pick up a level of beads off that back, too, from the gold get from that kill.
That's also going to allow Rama to just be, a level and a half, or maybe even 2 levels above an experience, which means Xbalanque's bad early game is going to be even worse.
Just about a level and a little bit, I'd say. Half a level. Actually, after this wave, maybe. No, it's about a level. It's about a level. That's all.
Yeah, because it's got to be, because he has to back at a bad time. Not only that, but with free
initiation coming out in mid lane. Fear no evil comes out to onto Habwa. Habwa saving his ult for great timing. Very, very patient, finding Poseidon with that ultimate. And they're going to turn onto Hun Batz. The counter initiation, the ult coming in from Thanatos, going to give Habwa another kill. Just snowballing this god more and more. Habwa, huge late game damage.
Habwa is one of the worst mages to get going early because he is considered a hyper carry in the late game. His one problem is you can't really protect him in lane. He's very unsafe, but if he's ahead and he just pumps out enough damage, that doesn't matter because he can turn on you easy. Now into the duo side, Rama forced up into air from aggression by the duo lane. As the rest of the team shows up, a water cannon will be able to pick up Defire. No escape, going to drag Sobek back into the fight as the chains will be able to pick him up. So great turnaround while Ram stays alive, and that's going to prolong this Xbalanque stack even more.
Something.
Look at Golden.
Wait, let me just talk about one thing from that fight real quick. I want to talk about something that happened in comms. The first thing that happened in that fight was the aggression came out from Xbalanque. I started running away. You saw my beads come out there. My beads did nothing. The reason my beads there was I expected Sobek to give me a pull while I was still running, because he expected me to stop, essentially, because to stop is how Xbalanque ultimate does not do anything. So I beads. I didn't have any beads anymore after that. So I get stunned out by the Xbalanque ultimate, and now I'm just kind of caught in a fight that's not going to go my way. So over comms, I just hear everybody going, go up, go up, go up, go up. So I didn't even look at the map. I just went straight up into my ult. Eventually, while I'm up in my ult, I see the entire team come in, and we turn it around just beautifully. And that's just trusting your team. They stop the red buff to come over and help, and it comes off in a huge turnaround for us.
Not only that, but just to recap what you probably were shown on the screen, the 1v1 Poseidon versus Ares until Hellball comes in, and Hun Batz. When you're ahead on certain gods like Ares, don't be afraid. I took that crack into the face because I was a man, and Hellball has managed to back me up and just turn that completely around.
Something I do want to mention here is at this point in the game, their Sobek does DC, which is probably the reason this game is so short. But we have a huge lead at this point. The DC just kind of adds to the slaughter that is happening.
To be honest, it was only about a 5k goal lead. It's definitely comebackable, but it's really the experience from the level 1 kill line coming out. And great ult on Thanatos. Gonna use it for the stun, not so much the execute, and then knock up, and a Disciple will be able to secure that from the Hellball and the Thanatos. I believe Hellball was gifted with that kill, / everything 7-0 and 2. And now at this rate, it's more than likely going to be Go Fairy with the support DC in the mid laner down. Once again, it's very unfortunate that this happened. Obviously, you guys know the name of the person that did it. Don't BM him if you ever get him in a game or whatever. You know, it happens. You don't know what was going on in the comms for the enemy team or whatnot.
Computer problems, internet problems, anything. Things happen. Give people the benefit of the doubt.
Now, at the end of the day, this game was probably going to be a win with how big Thanatos was, with how behind.
How big Hobble was. Forget Thanatos. Hobble is 7-0 at 8-15. Yeah, you said Thanatos.
I meant Hellball.
Okay.
I meant Hellball. My fault. How big Hellball is, because Thanatos isn't big at all. He's level 9 with 5 assists. He's not big at all. But how big Hellball is, I mean, our hypercarry is already online. Their hypercarry in Xbalanque is a level and a half, maybe two, about a level and a half behind Rama. And it's not looking good. At this rate, Xbalanque would have to pick up a lot of kills in team fights. And then super late game where we couldn't finish. If that were to be the case, that's when they would be able to get back into this. But anyway, into the left lane, I go in for a gank. I managed to land chains on him, unfortunately, with the Xbalanque ult. I can't really move forward because I can't really see anything. So he manages to get away, but not without losing half of his health and damage. Poseidon does rotate over. We're looking for the purple steal. We're more likely going to get it unless Poseidon contests. But over there in the duo side, there's going to be a big gank by Thanatos and Ymir. Fear Evil going to come out, separate them from each other, but they don't have the damage to contest. Bellona kind of forced out to the fight, not being able to contend with the Ymir and the Thanatos damage. A great wall by Ymir, going to zone him out a bit, but a bad ult. Not really going to connect there, but it was a nice try at the end of the day, and they're just going to force them back over the base. But in comes the Hellball. Hellball, no blink, unfortunately, won't be able to get there in time to get
another great wall.
Yeah. Another great wall by Ymir, going to be able to secure it with the Hellball ult from TehMotion. So that's during 8-0 and 2. And you know what? I got to give this lead not only to his good mechanical skills, but good rotations, but also because I got him those first kills and the mid camp.
Wow. 2 videos on the channel, 2 videos where Lloyd brags about something. And the surrender vote comes out right on the 10-minute dot. Rough game for the red team. Tough break that the Sobek did DC there. Although we did have a huge lead. We had an 8-0 Hobble. This game was not going to be looking into their favor. So,
like we said, it was a quick game. Unfortunately, it's all we could do for you guys.
We just wanted something to pass to you.
Yeah, we won the majority of the games we played. I think we played 4, we won 3. And Smite was just like, we're not gonna make a replay for the other one. So this is the game you get. Look for a more exciting, longer game next time. We just really want to get content out at least each day.
It sucks. We had one game that went 45 minutes that was a huge turnaround by our part. One fight, a Fire Giant, took the Fire Giant and pushed up after a couple very, very ominous situations that I really wish saved. That was an exciting game. I was very heated in that game, as Lloyd will tell you. I got a little into the game, man. A little. Sometimes you just get excited.
It's a story for another day. Never mind that. Anyway, you're not watching that game. You watched the game that we just played, and once again, we're sorry for playing the same gods. Fortunate that it happened that way.
We'll try to change it up. Try to get a lot of variety.
Watch one of your games and get one of your games down for one of the videos, or if you guys want to send us a replay, we'll gladly commentate over it. And we won't just do it like we are right now, we're really just talking. We'll sit there and we'll legitimately commentate as if we are the SPL casters, and we'll just get your name out there. So good game to everybody. Don't BM Apt. What was his name? Apt something?
I don't know. I can look over at it.
AptemDC. Don't BM him. His team was playing bad. Well, it wasn't that they were playing bad. They were just getting outplayed.
Oh, let's be nice. Let's be nice. Let's be nice. GG all around. Well played all around. We just happened to come out on top. So, thank you everybody for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Be sure to check back for a lot more exciting games. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.